What's up, y'all? It's your girl Dr. Nina, and today I'm going to be showing you all my fall shower routine and giving you some tips on feminine hygiene, hair removal, dry skin, and acne scars. I'm going to use my Dr. Bronner's Pure Castile soap in lavender, which I love because you can dilute it and still get the full benefits, and it has antibacterial properties that helps to soothe eczema, psoriasis, and even acne. Sometimes I substitute in the Equate version as well. I make sure that my body is fully wet with lukewarm and not hot water. Hot water can strip the skin of its natural moisture. Today I'm going to start with a little exfoliation with the Spin for Perfect Skin. You guys have seen this in so many of my body care videos, but I love it because it cleanses and exfoliates my skin and helps it to glow. It removes bacteria, helps me get acne-free skin. It also expands the use of my products so I don't find that I have to reapply a lot of product or even soap. When I'm using it, it helps them go a lot further all over my body, which helps to balance the amount of dirt and oil that I find in my skin, especially during these changing seasons. It's also waterproof, and it helps to make sure that the products that I put on afterwards, like my moisturizers, are taken into the skin much easier. I've also noticed that it helps my elbows and knees feel much smoother and cleaner. If you're interested, check the links in my information section and go ahead and get this brush for 70% off. I'm also happy to have partnered with Vanity Planet today because we're giving one of the brushes away. So check the information section for all details on this quick contest. I make sure that I rinse the brush off thoroughly and store it in a cool, dry place, and also rinse myself off with lukewarm water. I then move on to my V, and you guys know I'm always ranting and raving about the honey pot, which I buy with my own coin. I love that this feminine hygiene product is so easy and the foam is so light and so soft I can use it all over my body. I take the foam, add it to my hands, and work it on the outer part of my V. I like this formula because it's not extra, it's gynecologist supported, and it's pH balanced. I'm gonna buy a bottle of honey pot for 3 different winners, so check the information section on how to win. Once I'm done cleansing the V, I move on to shaving, which I do about 1 to 2 times a week. I use my Chic Hydro Silk razor with the built-in bikini trimmer on the end. It makes using it super simple, and I also pair it with my Pure Silk because I find it to be one of the best shaving creams I've ever used. I use just a little bit, rub it under my underarms in a thin layer, but enough for it to coat the area, and I'm very strategic. I'm only doing about 6 passes horizontally and vertically. You want to make sure that your arm is held really tight so that you don't cause any razor burns or any cuts. I also add a thin layer to my legs, which helps make shaving easy because I know the areas that still have all the white have not been shaved. My hair grows in so many different directions. Some people say to shave in the direction your hair grows, and some say shave against it. The hair on my legs tends to grow in all different directions, so sometimes I shave up and down. So I tend to pay attention individually as I shave. So make sure you pay attention to the growth of your own hair before shaving and know which direction you want to go. This could help to save from frustration from razor bumps and burns. Afterwards, I make sure that I rinse my skin off thoroughly because I do not like to leave any residue of shaving cream on my body. After this method, my body usually feels super soft, and I go ahead and make sure that I rinse off my razor very well and hang it in a cool, dry place. I have this kind of weird thing about needing to wash off 2 or 3 times. I work out so often, so I like to make sure that my skin is clear and clean and all residue from any shaving is cleaned off and lightly exfoliated. So I take a loofah with some African black soap, which really helps to coat the skin, especially since I do have some mild eczema and hidradenitis. It just helps to soothe it, especially when the weather is becoming cooler and you got a lot less dry skin going on. And I rinse that off completely and thoroughly with cooler to lukewarm water as well. I rinse my loofah, get out a lot of the water so that it doesn't hold bacteria, shake it out, and hang it up in a dry place. Once I'm done with all of that, I like to towel blot the skin dry instead of dragging it dry, mainly because it keeps a little bit of the moisture from the water in the skin. Also, I let the rest of the water air dry so that I'm not completely drying my skin out. I've convinced myself that this keeps my skin tighter with less cellulite and wrinkles. I promised y'all that I was still on a great quest to find the best deodorizers that are more natural and less harmful. And I love the Tom's kind because it doesn't have parabens and the aluminum that we want to avoid. I rub it under both arms and then I go back with my hands and rub it in. This seems to really seal the deal and also seems to help me stay fresh all day long. Then I move on to moisturizing, and I've been experimenting with the Dr. Teal's body lotion, which I do like it with the shea butter. And I'm still using my good old faithful Eucerin Intensive Repair. The shea butter version has vitamin A in it, which moisturizes and cuts down on stretch marks, wrinkles, and also uneven skin. Whatever the moisturizer I'm using, I make sure that I rub it all over, including those elbows, all the way up the arms, up the neck, the décolleté, which helps you to keep from prematurely aging. Also those fingertips, right down to the ashy areas in between the fingers, down to your knees, your toes, and also your heels. These are often neglected, and I know when I forget them, it looks like I've been kicking bricks for a living. I seal the moisture in with a nice oil mix. You can find the proportions down in the information section. I use olive oil, which locks in moisture and conditions the skin and also helps to prevent skin damage. Coconut oil, which deeply penetrates the skin and moisturizes it. Jojoba oil, which smooths out skin's tone and texture, and it's much like the sebum that our skin already produces. Sweet almond oil, which is one of my favorites, which gets down into the skin really quickly and keeps it from getting dry. And grapeseed oil, which helps to reduce fine lines and wrinkles. You'll find a little of this oil mix goes a long way, and I usually don't have to use too much after moisturizing, but I also take this down deep into my toes and my heels, my legs, my knees, my arms, behind my neck, everything, in order to seal in moisture really well.
Before we go, I want to provide you guys with some last minute tips that have really been working for me, that have really been giving me great results, keeping me hydrated and moisturized, getting rid of all that ashiness, irritation, and all the other stuff that we don't want to see. And before we get more into that moisturization, I'm going to talk a little bit about my vagina, I'm gonna do a new video on some of the things I've really been rotating and using and why. I really have been loving the honey pot. Over 2 years ago, I showed it to you guys back then. It's pH balanced and it's natural and it's liked by gynecologists. I also, especially around that time of the month, like to watch some of the things that I put down there and that I'm using down there. Honey pot also has their own line of feminine napkins. These are just the regular version, which I find works well for me. I like that they're long enough for me. They really do add protection, and then they're herbally fused. So you're not getting all the floral crazy scents that could cause some bouts of bacterial vaginosis or even yeast infections, but you're getting things that can actually help you down there, keep you lightly lubricated, and keep you from chafing up against your pads. These have been good to me so far and have really kept me fresh without giving me any floral crazy, imbalancing, non-natural scents. I also love these Genovese wipes. These have been really good during that time of the month or off, just when you want to wipe and freshen up. They're scent-free, paraben-free, and pH balanced. Their focus is on you maintaining your pH balance so you don't mess with the chemistry that nature gave you, because you know sometimes we be throwing that thing off. So when it comes to dealing with that hair down there, yes, I said there, I'm from the Lou and I'm proud. While I like to keep the hair tame and trim, shaving and those types of things are far and few in between for me because I have hidradenitis suppurativa, which causes boils in areas that have folds of the skin and sweat a lot. I don't really like the itchy cootie cat. I don't do a whole lot of shaving all the way down. Waxing for me has not been my friend. I've tried it several times, including the most expensive of places to get it done. My skin down there just does not like it. It works better for me to maintain and trim that hair on my own. I try to make sure I just take my time, maybe every other week, clip the hair down as far as I can, use that bikini trimmer that I showed you guys, use shaving cream, but also keep that area clean, cool, and dry. But I choose not to shave completely because the itchmongers will get you, and they will haunt you at times where you least expect them, like when you're grocery shopping or when you're at school or when you're at work. And nobody likes to see the person who's acting like they're not scratching their cootie cat. I'm just saying. If I'm having one of those weeks where it's gone a little bit beyond my measures of needing to just trim it with a bikini trimmer, I also use very clean scissors and I clean them down with isopropyl alcohol. And anything that goes down there needs to be clean. You do not need to be causing infections in your area. I also use aloe vera and witch hazel, which really help to calm and cool any skin issues that have to do with razor bumps or even burns. Those usually really do soothe the skin and have been pretty safe, I found, for me. me. Another trick that I've learned growing up was to throw your loofahs and your sponges into the washer. My mother taught me that because it keeps you from getting bacterial infections as well, and also cuts down on the amount of times you have to buy loofahs and sponges. Now, I'm not saying keep them forever. I like to replace them every month anyway, because you don't want to be rubbing your private parts with a sponge full of bacteria. And the same thing goes for your towel regimens. Make sure that you're keeping your towel game on point, washing those underwear, loofahs, sponges, and those towels. Anything that's directly touching areas that are more private in nature, and anytime you allow clothes to bask in the glory of your bacteria, better known as your sweat and other buildups, oils, and dirt, then you're gonna cause yourself issues in the long run. And not just bacterial infections, but dark marks, acne, and other skin issues. That if I'm having issues with areas of my body having a lot of acne, instead of me investing in a lot of other body washes, which you guys see I keep them pretty much the same, I go ahead and use some of my face wash. Y'all know I love Purity Made Simple, and that works just as well across my body. Remember, your face is very delicate, so I find a lot of times that if I use something more delicate on my body, I can kind of reverse some of that acne, scarring, the issues that I'm having on my body as well with some of the same products.
On dark marks and scars across my body, I love the Mederma PM because it helps to clear them up pretty quickly.
Hope today has been very beneficial for you guys. Make sure you go ahead, thumbs up this video, share the video with someone who can use it, and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Beautiful Brown Baby Doll. Peace.
Thanks so much for all the love and support over on my new website. If you haven't already, go ahead and check it out and join me for new ways to interact with me, giveaways and prizes, weekly emails, as well as my free 8-day supernatural video course, which is free when you sign up.